Howdy everyone, I'm Corey with Art's Really Cool. Today is not a standard video, it's a surprise video for Adrian. I wanted to make him an art piece and don't want him to know about it, well, until he has to edit this because I don't know how to edit.
Hey guys, this is Editing Adrian. So true, he does not know how to edit, but he is good at editing pet photos. So if you want to get a professional photo and you live in the Charlotte metro area, hit him up.
What I wanted to do was make a large piece, 24 by 30 inch canvas. And I've got these really cool things I picked up from Hobby Lobby. They're like old license plate, or they're made out of the same thing of a license plate. I'm sure they weren't real, but they've got the letters on it. So I'm gonna spell out his name, A-D-R, and I'm gonna put them in like a V shape, kind of like how ducks fly, on a canvas, like you can see on this, but it would go A-D-R-I-A-N, and then in the center here, I'm gonna try to create like a blowout heart with one side being green, one side being blue, probably metallic, because you know me. And I'm gonna do a base. I tested, and I think I do actually like a black base over a white base on this idea. I wanted to do white initially because I wanted the letters to pop more, but they actually pop really well, I think, on a black base too. So I'm probably gonna do a black base, it's still up for debate. What I'm gonna do is create little puddles and make little blowouts so it kind of looks like an explosion, and have the letter sitting right in the center of it so it's like exploding around it and it like is emphasizing it. And I'll be using different greens to kind of make different dimension and depth. This is something I haven't done before because I'm going to also, when I put the letters down after it dries, I'm going to try and resin it. I've resined a few pieces. They don't turn out the way I want them most of the time. I can get them to work sometimes, but I'm not the best at it yet. I still need more practice. Thankfully, we have many pieces of which we decide not to sell, and I can practice on those. But I want to put the letters down and then pour resin over it, and hopefully the resin will sit on top of it and like hold them in and make them like a part of the piece. At the very minimum, hopefully it will adhere to it. If it's not covered, I prefer it to be covered. But even if it's not, it could be kind of a cool look too. So that is what we're going to attempt now. I'm also wearing my Bob's Burgers shirt. It's my favorite show in the whole world. And Adrian got me this shirt a long time ago early on in our relationship, and it's like my favorite.
It is. It's his favorite.
I wanted to wear it in honor of the painting for him. I may not actually be wearing it when I paint though, because I don't want to risk getting paint on it. So I'll probably switch to one of my paint shirts, but I just wanted to show it off. So anyways, with the magic of editing, I'm going to be standing. All right, we've got camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and sound. Okay guys, this is the first time I've done this by myself. So Adrian helped set up without knowing what's going on, but I hope I got all the angles perfectly right, and forgive me if it's not as good as the rest of the stuff. But anyways, here is my giant 24 by 36 inch canvas. I've got my base paint setting off to the side. I just don't have room for it. This table is just big enough for this. I've got to be careful because if I just bump it slightly, it'll fall off the edge. Being a little risky rather than putting up a new table because didn't want Adrian to know how big this was. That's the prize for Adrian. So let's get started. I'm going to pour the metallic black, and then I'm going to use a hairdryer to blow it out. And then I will start adding my different greens. I'll tell you what the colors are as we get there. And then I will I have this metallic black if I need to, it's the same as the base, just if I need to add any touch-ups, like smaller amounts, I've got that. And then I'll be adding some metallic white in with the colors as well, the puddles of the greens. And I'm gonna make them a little different, but we will go over that in just a second. All right, so here's my giant tub of metallic black, and we're just gonna pour it out. All right, sorry, I'm all over. It's not as easy without Adrian. He makes it go so smooth. All right, here we go. We're gonna blow this out. Try not to get paint on all of my stuff. that took a real long time, and I still gotta touch some stuff up. Hopefully Adrian just kind of showed you a little bit and then jumped to the end. If not, blame him for how boring that probably was to watch.
So rude.
So I'm gonna pop the air bubbles. I'm gonna touch up I'll touch up the sides later, but I am gonna tilt it slightly to even out the paint, because now it's kind of heavy a little here, a little there, like it's not smooth. All right, I'm gonna check to see if there's anything in it that I need to pull out first. Tilt it like this, let it run for a little bit. Being that my table is not quite big enough, a lot of the paint is just going straight onto the floor and my shoes. These are specifically meant for painting. All right, okay, so when I first picked this canvas, well, originally I picked a 24 by 24, and then I realized I didn't like the spread of the letters. It wasn't quite enough. And then I went to a 24 by 30, and that was better, but still not enough. And then I saw that I had a 24 by 36, and I was like, perfect, because it'll give me just a little bit more space to spread them out. I've got 6 letters, an inch a piece. And so I measured on the plastic that was on it, and then I took that off, and now I don't have it measured obviously, but I have a general idea of where each one's supposed to go now. Mostly I was measuring to make sure that it would fit and look how I wanted. It doesn't have to be perfect. Art is not perfect. Art is entirely subjective.
And we all have a unique point of view.
Let's get started with the puddle. So what I'm gonna do now is right here, this is where the A is gonna be, and I'll pour some color here to blow out, and then the D, the R, the I, the A, the N, and each of them will have their own little blowout puddles. So I will get to starting, and it's just going to be made up of these with a little bit of the white. And I'm going to make them a little bit different. They're not all going to be the same color combination or stacked. I'm not going to use every color in each one. Most likely not. We'll see what happens when I start to do it. When I made a painting for Adrian before, I kind of talked about a lot of this stuff that was special to me regarding him, and how we met during a time that was a little bit rough for both of us. By the way, sorry, my first color, it was Amsterdam Permanent Green Light. That was Metallic White by Amsterdam. This is FolkArt Green Flash. But I knew I liked Adrian, I knew I liked Adrian before Adrian knew that he liked me.
Actually, guys, I totally liked him and I knew it, but I was too scared to say it, so.
I knew early on how I felt, and I knew early on the potential that he had to be the amazing person that he's becoming each and every day. And I just wanted to be a part of that. I wanted that in my life, and I wanted to be able to watch him continue to blossom and grow and just amaze me in every single way and every single day.
Oh, wow. I promise, guys, I did not pay him to say that. I'm floored. I'm flabbergasted.
And so I got it. I got lucky with that, because he finally took a little while, but he finally realized he liked me too. So once that happened, we started to do a little bit more like activities together. Before, he had moved in and we were just kind of roommatey a little bit. This is DecoArt Blacklight Neon Green. I thought it would have a fancy name, it doesn't. Anyways, so we were just kind of roommatey, and then it came, once we decided that we both liked each other, came to do more things together, like hang out more and do different activities, just, you know, like you would with somebody that you're dating. And everything was so, we were compatible with everything, pretty much, it felt like. Like, his sense of humor is just perfect for my sense of humor. I get to be my authentic self because I have a dark side with my humor, and I can say those dark jokes and he just accepts it. Like, he laughs with it, or, you know, he'll sometimes joke and add on. It's just really great. I'm just gonna keep stacking, actually. Yeah, I just feel very grateful each and every day that he came into my life, especially when he did. I can't not have metallic green. I'm gonna add a little bit more. He had a totally different childhood than me. I mean, obviously, but like from so many aspects. From the fact that we are from totally different regions of the United States, to the fact that we were different races, to the fact that he was big in, he was encouraged to be big into sports and was so. Like, sports wasn't, I didn't enjoy it. Plus, when I did baseball when I was younger, it's a whole big thing. But short story, my coach quit when I was in T-ball. The next coach just yelled at us all the time. And again, this is T-ball. Like, we can't even hit the ball with it not being on a stand. I just was not into physical, and I'm not a competitive person for the sake of like aggressive competitive. So sports just wasn't for me, and I'm okay with that. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, this one was Artist Loft metallic green. This is Amsterdam yellowish green. And then this gold was DecoArt 24 karat. But anyway, so Dustin, my brother, was the one that was more into the sports, or did sports at least. I assume he liked it, but I never actually talked to him about it. We didn't talk a ton when we were younger. Yeah, so like we're just very different, yet somehow very similar in different aspects of our lives, and we just mesh. We just get along super well, which I love. But as time progressed and we hung out more and we saw that we were so compatible in the way that we made this one too close, but in the way that we carried ourselves and just functioned. He's also, being from the South, he is a lot more conservative than me, but also totally open-minded to the idea that things are different in the world, that maybe his beliefs don't match, as am I. Like, I might be too liberal at times, like I get that. And we're both open-minded and able to have those conversations with each other. He's like the perfect other half for me. And I'm so grateful, like I keep saying, to have met him, especially when I did. But for Adrian's birthdays, I have made it a goal, or a thing, that I always want to do something fun and crazy. Not crazy, but something big. Like the first year we went to a play that starred somebody we both really liked. And we were like, oh my God, we're seeing them in person. This is crazy. We didn't like meet them, and then the next year we went on big vacation to a place that I guess we talked about in other videos, but to Hawaii, and it's a place that I just love. And so I was grateful to be able to experience that with him, or share that with him. The floor is covered in paint, so I'm slipping a little. If I fall down, don't laugh. Oh, and the silver that I used, by the way, I forgot, Artist Loft silver. This year we are going to do a murder mystery. It's not going to technically be on his birthday. It's going to be like a week before, but that's when the hotel that we're going to is doing it. And so I'm personally very excited. I think that it is going to be a blast. If I fall in this painting because of this paint, I'll be very angry and I'll say lots of curse words. So yeah, we're going to do a murder mystery, and I'm really excited for it because I've always wanted to do a murder mystery. And Adrian's up for it. Adrian's such a ham. He wants to, one of the things he really wants to do that I may have to start looking it up because I think he keeps forgetting, or maybe is secretly a little afraid to do, is he wants to be one of the character actors in like a haunted house or whatever, or an extra on like a really goofy, like there's a commercial for, I think, Spectrum, not sponsored. But anyways, this guy like comes rolling in and like flips in and like does this crazy stance.
The Ball Brothers!
And he has said almost every time that he has seen that, he's like, I want to be that guy. Why can't I have that guy's job? And so he's going to do so well at this murder mystery. It's just going to be chef's kiss amazing. I will be uncomfortable. He will sink so heavy into it, which is totally fine. I want him to enjoy it. Literally have not been paying attention pretty much to anything I've been doing. I just occasionally think, oh, I haven't used this color. I think I've used the neon blacklight one in every one. And I'm making sure that I do gold, silver, gold, silver, gold, silver. Do this. Now I'm trying to think about it. This is probably his favorite color, but the really cool thing about this blacklight one, and that's why I'm putting it in each of them, I'm hoping some will show, is it legitimately lights up with blacklight. This year my birthday actually falls on Friday the 13th, so I told him that I want to do something for it. I was born on a Friday the 13th, so I really I always have liked that day. My parents were actually married on the 13th, and so like 13 is just a number that I hold near and dear. I have no idea if these colors are going to turn out, like these blowouts. A bit more white. I think this one stay kind of light all around. These are really big puddles. They're going to totally run into each other. It's not going to be quite, I was going to use silver. It's not going to be quite as separated as I wanted it to be, but that's just because I'm talking and I always use way too much paint. So Adrian, if any of you have been following the channel for a while, there used to be some music stuff on the channel that Adrian will hopefully soon set up a separate YouTube channel for his music. He's really talented when it comes to doing anything musical. Like he went to college for music, can play the piano, just makes his own beats and songs. He writes lyrics. I've never heard them. He's shy about that, but he writes his own lyrics. All around just kind of a really impressive musician. He can play multiple instruments and do a little of everything. And so it's really fun. He just walks around the house and like constantly sings, because he's a vocalist. But he constantly sings. Sometimes I'm like, oh, come on. But most of the time I enjoy it because it's one, he does a little jokey, so he makes it kind of funny. But two, it's really almost every time, if he's not being too jokey, really good. And I just love that. It makes me happy. And I like to pretend I can sing sometimes. And so I'll sing a little bit like by myself. He can hear me because I'm like up in the shower doing it. And, you know, because everybody sounds good in the shower. But I aspire to, or I dream of being as impressive as he is. I'm gonna do this to make them match. And I've been putting the metallic green over here. So let's blow this out. Wish me luck. Okay guys, I think I'm not upset with this. It's not as perfectly centered as I like, but I like how they are distinctly separate, like they stayed separate. I'm gonna mess with this probably a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna mess with this too. It's not coming over enough. Oh my gosh, there's so much paint on the floor. All right. I'm happy with it. I'm shockingly happy with it. So now what I'm gonna do is make half of a heart. I'm gonna try to do this, and this will all be blown with like my breath. But half of a heart that's blue, and I got two more blues. It's an Amsterdam greenish blue and Amsterdam magnesian blue, or manganese blue. And then I will put silver in with that one and a little bit of white. And then I'm gonna use metallic green, Amsterdam permanent green light, and the neon with gold mixed in and some white. So let me shake it up and cover it up. I don't know that this is gonna work. I'm just gonna give it a go. Give it a go. And now for silver. And then I'm gonna do the green right next to it before I blow out. Trying to make it similar to the other one. A little bit more metallic green. I was saying that Adrian, well, I was saying many things about Adrian, but one of the things that he has done for me lately is he really encourages my creative side, which I don't feel like I have much of one, but around him, I seem to. Like, he brings it out of me, and that's really cool to get to feel like, hey, there's a part of me that I don't know already. Like, for instance, I have taken up pet photography, and I absolutely love it, and I feel like I might be good at it. And I don't normally feel that way about stuff I do. Like, even painting, I'm like, sometimes they're great, but most of the time they're meh in my eye, as everybody has their worst critic. But with these pet photography stuff, like, I actually feel like I'm doing like good work. And Adrian is so supportive of it, like rooting me on, cheering me on, like encouraging, like, yeah, go do this, or you should do that, or like all of it, this buku ideas about really go for it. My paints are all mixed with Floetrol, gloss pouring medium, and then paint. I don't have a ratio. I didn't use water this time. I normally would thin them out, but I wanted them to be more defined, or I can't think of the word. When you water the paint down to make it flow better, it becomes a little too wispy for what I wanted. This made it stay a little bit more solid and concrete, but still gives the flow that I love. All right, so now I'm gonna blow this out and see what happens. Need a straw. Give me 1 second. Ooh, lightheaded. If I fall over, don't laugh. All right, so it is imperfectly perfect. This worked out better than I really had hoped. So now I've got to hide it so he can't see it. And then once it's completed, that's when I will put the letters on each of their spots and try resining it. Fingers crossed that that works, but never know, you never know. So I'm back and I got a haircut and I'm ready to do step 2. So the painting, I think, turned out phenomenal. This heart, I am blown away. It's a heart, there's no question. And the interlacing that I did here to tie it together, I just love it. I've only let it dry for approximately 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. And that is enough time for me to resin, I believe. Normally I would let a painting sit for a good solid month before I would varnish it. But since I'm resining, I believe it would be okay to do that now. So if not, at least I have video evidence of what this did look like. Okay, so I've got the letters. I've wiped everything down with isopropyl alcohol and to make sure any dust and anything that was on there is now off, hopefully. I also normally would deep clean my canvases before I varnish them with Dawn isopropyl alcohol, Windex, and hot water. And I do scrub kind of hard to make sure everything is off, especially if I, for any reason, have used silicone. Otherwise, the stuff just won't adhere, varnish won't adhere well, and resin, of course, would be the same. And so that's what I did. I also wiped it down the letters that I'm gonna be using to make sure that they are good. I mixed my resin before because I didn't want to do it on camera. I did that for 5 minutes. It's Art Resin brand, and I think it says to do for like 3 minutes, but I just wanted to really make sure. And what I really do is I make sure there's no ribbons in there. I use a stirrer and then I manually stir on top of it, and I go medium speed. I don't go really fast and I don't go really slow, but my main focus from what I've read and seen is just to get rid of the ribbons that you can see when you mix the hardener and the resin. So that is what I've got off to the side here. I put tape on the back of my letters because when I'm resining, I use my hands like everybody else I've seen. I want, like, as I run over it, I want it to maybe stick a little more. When I set them on here, they're kind of tacky anyway, so they're staying to it a little bit anyways, but just double down on that, and it's really flat, so it shouldn't make a big difference, I hope. All right, the one thing I do notice is that I think the heart is almost centered, but this is not centered. So it's a little off, but I'll be setting my letters up more along the lines of the heart being the center. So let's get going. Let's put the letters down. So Adrian, if you didn't know, works out. He works out a lot. I, on the other hand, do not. I walk a lot and run. I like more cardio stuff. He does actual workouts, and he is currently being very inspiring and is training for one of those Spartan races, you know, like those hardcores. Like, oh my God, like those people have a lot of strength and power and stamina. They have a lot of stamina because those things are hard and they take forever to get through. Trying to line these up to make sure that they're on the same height, at least, to the best of my ability. All right, so here is my mixed resin. Got a little bit of bubbles that have risen to the top, but what I'm gonna do is kind of pour around it. Oh, and I put a garbage bag on the floor. I don't mind paint. Well, I never wanted paint, and then I got over the paint on the garage floor, but I don't want resin, so I put a garbage bag to catch, because again, this just fits the table. But I'm gonna go around the edge here. I'm gonna be careful not to do too much so that I have a little extra to pad myself if I need to. I really hope that this concept works. I think that this would be such a cool gift. It's a fairly creative concept, I think. In my opinion, I've been wondering, I actually forgot I bought these letters, but I've been wondering what to do with them ever since. Oh, and I'm just gonna use my hand and rub it all out. But I've been wondering what to do with them, because I was like, I know I want to do something really fun and cool, but what? What do I do? I was like, ooh, maybe I could do something with a painting. I just painted the sides of these like earlier, like a few hours ago. Didn't get dry enough. It seemed to be. That's a little bit of a risk, but my thought was if it doesn't work out on the sides, I will just get it framed. But anyway, so I thought, oh, well, maybe I could do, you know, like I do art, right? Like maybe I can do something with art. I came up with the idea of like, well, what if I do the letters? And then it kind of progressed into this. Each time I got a little further along and it was coming together nicely, and it seemed like a good solution for my problem of finding out what to do with it. And so far I am quite pleased. And I'm just pushing the resin from the center and the edges of the beads I poured. I'm just pushing it along the way and then rubbing the side, making sure that I don't feel any like catches. So like when there's no resin, it kind of, your hand catches a little bit. It keeps moving, but like you're like, oh, there's clearly no resin, you can tell. And so that's all I'm doing is basically running it over to the edge and then just dragging my hand across it to kind of coat the edges too. So Adrian is working on getting his editing skills even like, I mean, you've seen his editing, it's incredible, but he wants to make them even better. He wants to do even more and go further and see what he can do with it. And so he's been practicing more things and new things, and it's been a really cool process to watch happen. But yeah, it's really fun to watch him like dive into new experiences. He's very eager to learn and very quick learner, which has been very great to have around the house. I lean to him for a lot of things, and he does not let me down. So he was born and raised in North Carolina and hasn't left a lot. He hadn't gone past Tennessee. So when we went to Montana to visit my family, that was a new experience for him, and to see that side. And it was really cool to expose him to, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm sorry guys, but I'm gonna rotate this. It was cool to expose him to the Midwest more, so he could different environments and different aspects of the United States. And so my goal is to get out to like Oregon, probably not this year, maybe next year, get all the ways to get him to the West Coast. I mean, we went, as you guys know, we went to Hawaii, so like he's seen the Pacific Ocean, like Pacific, right? I don't know which side it is, pretty sure it's the Pacific, but like he's never seen the West Coast, which is gonna be fun and shocking for him, in my opinion, because the beaches here are more tropical-esque in that the water's warm and it's a lot nicer. The beaches I've gone to on the West Coast are oftentimes really cold and gloomy. No offense. Anybody that lives there, it's amazing. You live in an amazing place. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of extra resin over these letters. It's self-leveling, so I'm not super worried about the lines and stuff that I make when I do that. That A is raised on the bottom, so it might not, this N looks like it's gonna be good, but this A and that A might not stay under fully. You look really quick to see if there's anything in it. See if there's any spots. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is torch it. Take off my little gloves. And I'm gonna torch it to pop the air bubbles, just like you do with regular painting. It's the quickest and easiest way. All right, I am going to move it off to the side. I don't have anything big enough to cover it. I've set up another shelf just for this, and I've got stuff to cover the sides. It's the best way I could figure out how to try and prevent stuff from getting into it. And I will be visiting it every 5 minutes to touch it up and like make sure that nothing's in it, and then pop the bubbles, because every little bit they show up. All right, so moving it off. I'm not going to show you my touching up every 5 minutes, but in a couple hours I will do another video to show you kind of what it looks like, because it's got a 40-minute work time, and then it's basically complete really in 24 to 48 hours. A couple hours is when it's kind of already hardened, but like fully cured in 24 to 48. So I'll do a shot then. But right now I'm gonna move this over and take care of it there. All right, so I'm impatient, and this is not 100% dried. Well, it's dried, but like it's not cured. But here it is. I want to show Adrian, so I have to get my final shot so that he can watch the video. But here we go. Look, it's so shiny. You can see me. Hi. And you can see, if you notice, you can see that I did the gold here, the silver here, again gold, silver, gold, and silver. And then that heart, just look at that heart. I'm so happy with that heart. But look at it, it's quite cool, in my opinion. It's exactly what I envisioned, so hopefully he likes it.
I love it. Ah! I love it so much. It's everything I love all in one. My favorite part is definitely the heart. Something about that just has like a magic to it. And this will definitely be hanging up in my office. I'll show you all a picture at the end of this. Sorry, Corey, for interrupting your video a bunch, but I mean, I'm the editor, so you know, I have free reign.
All right, thanks for coming along with me. Bye. Adrian, guess what?
Chicken butt. No, seriously. What?
Our website's live. Go to archreallycool.com.
Yeah, you're lying. Let me check. Oh, you weren't lying.